for redundancy of the network.
Redundancy for what? ISP.
For ISP, for switch, or for like for gate.
Anil.
Are you talking about HSRP?
Disturbance are there.
Okay. So here, is there any issue in this topology? Forget about the redundancy of ISP. If ISP will goes down, then internet connectivity will goes down. We don't have redundancy for ISP. Definitely true. But forget about the ISP now. Forget about this switch also. But think about the gateway. Who is gateway? Router?
Router.
Interface?
Correct.
What if the gateway will goes down?
Everything will go down, sir.
Everything will goes
Down. But intranet would be working, sir.
yeah,
in that
internet
case,
within the subnet, everyone can communicate.
Yeah.
Right? But to submit, let's say these two users are in VLAN 10 and these two users are in VLAN 20. Here I am running router on a stick. So two VLANs can again not communicate.
Correct.
Right? So actually these are FHRP, first hop redundancy protocol. What do you mean by first hop? Hop means what? Layer 3 device. And first
Correct.
hop means first layer 3 device, which is your gateway. If you are accessing internet through your broadband router, so your broadband router is your first hop, your gateway. Right? So today we are going to understand how to achieve redundancy for first hop. That's why we are saying first hop redundancy protocol. So solution can be what? We can install one more router here and we can connect it like this. This can be the solution, yes or no? But
Correct.
you know, PC can have only one default gateway, right? PC cannot have more than one default gateway. I cannot configure router 1 and router 2 both IP address as a gateway on PC.
Every time we have to change the gateway, sir. Then.
Yes. Let's say here IP address is 10.1.1.1 and on router number 2 IP address is 10.1.1.2. Right, and the gateway on the PC is 10.1.1.1. And if router 1 will goes down, then manually you have to change the gateway from 1 to, or through DSCP you have to change it. Right? But this can be not possible. This is not possible to change the gateway, to track the gateway every time. You have to assign one engineer who will be tracking, hey, router 1 is up or not. If it is not up, let's change the gateway, like that. So that's why we come up with protocol. Protocol, you already know the protocol meaning of protocol means dynamic in behavior, which will do same task dynamically, which will change the gateway dynamically, automatically. That is dynamic in nature, right? So any task in networking can be performed by two ways: static and dynamic. In the static, manually administrator have to do it, or in dynamic we can assign the same task to a protocol. Protocol is responsible for. Correct?
Correct, sir.
So is it clear why do we need FHRP? Why do we need FHRP?
Yes, sir.
So provide the redundancy for gateway. If the one gateway will go down, then traffic will to another gateway automate. Because user don't know about the gateway failure. User don't know when router 1 is up or 1 router 2 is and devices like your server printers not know where to send the traffic, where to send their traffic. FHRP protocol is solving this. How FHRP protocol is solving this? FHRP is going to create one virtual IP address. See, there are two gateway. By combining these two gateway, FHRP protocol will calculate one virtual IP address. Let's say virtual IP address is 10.1.1.100, and then FHRP protocol will start tracking the gateway. It is going to elect one router as an active router and rest all the router as a standby router. Now we'll see the election process, how it will elect one router as an active router. Okay. But the main function of FHRP protocol is creating the virtual IP address. How it will provide redundancy by creating the virtual IP, and this virtual IP
सर
address will be the gateway on and devices. Yeah.
सर आईपी तो है बट स्विच तो मैक पे काम करता है ना, तो वो कैसे होगा मतलब?
स्विच से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है ना, यहाँ पे हम पीसी को क्या गेटवे देंगे, ये मतलब है. What gateway IP address you will define to PCs? स्विच भाई अगर यूजर आर्प जनरेट करेगा 10.1.1.100 के लिए, तो स्विच उसको ब्रॉडकास्ट करेगा. अगर मैक एड्रेस है उसके टेबल में तो स्विच फॉरवर्ड करेगा. क्वेश्चन तो ये है ना कि
ओके.
व्हेन यूजर विल जनरेट आर्प रिक्वेस्ट मैसेज फॉर 10.1.1.100, which router will send their MAC address? That is the question, right? So active router will share their MAC address in the response of ARP request. The router here is active. Right? The standby routers will not share their. So let's say MAC address over here is A, MAC address over here is, right, and router 1 is my active router. Router 2 is standby router. So in that case, if this user having IP address, let's say 10.1.1.5, want to access internet 8.8.8, so it will look up for the gateway IP address. Gateway IP address is 10.1.1.100. It will generate ARP request for 10.1.1.100, and router 1 will share their MAC address, a MAC address. Right? So PC will get to know, okay, if I need to send traffic to my gateway, this is going to be like this.
यस क्लियर.
सर पैकेट फ्लो बताएंगे फिर इसमें कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड आएगा गेटवे से?
गेटवे के पास तो मैक एड्रेस आ गया यूजर का, ये तो यूनिकास्ट भेज देगा ना. द ARP रिक्वेस्ट IP address 10.1.1.100.
ओके.
Destination IP address, target IP 10.1.1.5. Source MAC, okay, destination MAC, PC MAC address.
नहीं, जैसे पहले जाएगा जब रिक्वेस्ट तो सोर्स आईपी वुड बी 10.5, राइट, एंड डेस्टिनेशन वुड बी 10.100, करेक्ट? सोर्स मैक वुड बी ए
नहीं,
एंड डेस्टिनेशन.
target IP address will be 10.100. Okay, yes.
हाँ, वही कह रहा हूँ. एंड डेस्टिनेशन मैक वुड बी
Broadcast.
all f. Then switch will learn ki okay, it is coming from this and this is a part of VLAN 10, correct?
Correct.
So it will forward on all interfaces except the receiving one. So on the trunk port it will send with the VLAN tag value uh, VLAN 10 of 10, and then this would be received by router on .1 queue interface, you can say, and then it will be handling ki okay, this request is coming for me and it will accept it, right? And then the response packet, the IP would be exchange, source would be 10.100, the virtual IP address which is over there, and source IP destination would be this. And how will switch learn, sir, in response packet?
What switch will learn? MAC address of 100.1,
Ha,
100.100.
Hmm.
8.100 MAC address will be run on the trunk link, on this link. When switch will receive it, it will check first. Okay, receiving interface is trunk. Tag value is VLAN 10. That means this is a traffic of VLAN 10. So in VLAN 10 MAC address table, it is going to learn the source MAC. Source MAC means a MAC
5
address.
meg.
In the reply message, source MAC will be a na,
Huh, correct.
right? So a MAC address on the receiving interface, and destination MAC is already there. So it will forward traffic from this.
Okay. ठीक है sir.
So, sir, it is not learning B because we are keeping as priority, right? Over here. That's why it is not
Active.
learning B.
Active.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Router
if
1 will goes down, router 2 will
yes,
become active, and that case it will learn the B MAC address.
so then how it will be learning B that time?
So we'll see that in the
Okay.
protocol. FHRP is not any protocol. This is technology, right? There are some protocol under HSRP. Here you can see. These are the protocols. Either you can say these are FHRP protocols, or you can say these are gateway high availability both are
सर AVAIL आएगा सर स्टार्टिंग में अवेल. हाँ जी. Ability.
gateway high availability. So by using these three protocol, we can achieve redundancy for first hop. Okay. So what I told you, for an example, here my IP address is 10.1.1.1, and here my IP address is 10.1.1. Right. So these are two physical gateway for end devices, but we cannot define two gateway on the PCs. So we'll create one virtual gateway. Let's say my virtual gateway is 10.1.1.100. Right. Now who will generate the ARP reply message for 1.1.1.100 depends on protocol election criteria. One router will become active, and active router will send or you can say to create the virtual gateway through the multiple physical interfaces or through the multiple physical gateways. We have three protocols: HSRP, GLBP, and VRRP. If someone is going to ask you like this, that which protocol can be get a single virtual gateway through multiple physical gateway protocols. Let's understand all the protocols one by one. HSRP stands for what? HSRP
Hot
stands for
standby redundancy protocol.
hot standby router protocol.
अच्छा.
GLBP
Global. सर ये use का.
gateway load balancing
Load
protocol.
balance.
Yeah.
गेटवे लोड बैलेंसिंग प्रोटोकॉल. अब जी होगा, डेफिनेटली गेटवे ही बोल रहा होगा. लोड बैलेंसिंग, व्हाई इट इज सेइंग लोड बैलेंसिंग? बिकॉज दिस प्रोटोकॉल्स परफॉर्म सपोर्ट लोड बैलेंसिंग एज वेल. Even in HSRP also you can perform load balancing, but for that you have to create multiple
Groups.
in GLBP single group we can achieve load. VRRP stands for
Virtual
Virtual
router
redundancy.
balance
Virtual
router
routing
redundancy
redundancy protocol.
Very good. So let's discuss HSRP protocol first. We can configure it on router or on the layer 3 switch, means on SVI also, right? We can configure it on router physical interface or
दोनों बता दीजिए.
on the SVI interface or on the sub interface, right? क्या वो फिजिकल है या वर्चुअल है? First protocol is HSRP. Let's understand HSRP first. And if you are going to understand the HSRP,
VRRP भी cover हो जाएगा.
yeah, VRRP and GLBP automatic. One protocol you need to understand carefully. HSRP. Hot. Hot क्यों बोलते हैं इसको भाई? And भाई
तो
hotter.
जिसने बनाई थी उसके घर में लड़ाई हुई थी.
First of all, it is Cisco proprietary. It is Cisco proprietary open standard.
Cisco proprietary, sir.
Cisco proprietary. Means we can only configure it on
Cisco
On
device.
Cisco devices.
Cisco device. On the open standard, you configure via. Hello timer of HSRPs means hello
second.
message.
Yes, sir.
Like the BPDU in STP, right? GTP message, CDP message. We have message here in HSRP also called hello message. There is only one message called hello message. And the timer is
3 seconds.
so
3 seconds.
timer is 3 seconds. Means after every 3 seconds, HSRP protocol is going to send the hello message. Right? Means both the
Yes.
router 1 and router 2 are exchanging hello message after every 3. So when router 1 will goes down, how much time it can take to become active? How much time R2
10
can take to
seconds.
become active?
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Hold down time is 10 seconds. Means 10 seconds. If router 1 and router 2 are not able to exchange the hello message, if router 1 is not receiving hello message of router 2 or router 2 is not receiving the hello message of router 1, what will happen?
Back
This
down
is
the
interview
inverse.
question. Then both router will become
Active.
एक्टिव. राइट, बहुत बार आपने देखा होगा इंटरव्यू वगैरह में पूछ, राइट, बोथ राउटर्स आर एक्टिव. व्हाट कैन बी द रीजन? So they are not able to exchange the hello message properly. If router 1 will not receive the hello message of router 2, how it can get to know about another router, right? So both router will think I am the active router. It is similar like STP. In STP, if a switch is not going to receive superior BPDU, it will declare their self as root bridge.
Correct.
Right? So if router 1 will receive any hello message with lower priority or the best priority, then only it will declare itself as non-active standby. Right? So you can say maybe there is no reachability between two routers.
So this is only one region, or is there other region also?
Only
Well,
one. This is only one reason. No other reason.
सर एक ACL का भी कुछ रीजन था सर.
ACL से भी अब ACL अगर हम कॉन्फ़िगर करके डिनाई कर दिए तो वही हुआ ना reachability.
Okay.
Right? If both
और
are
कई
not
बार
able to exchange the hello message, then both router will become active. If both routers are able to receive the hello message, exchange the hello message, then one router will become active. All other routers will become. Hold down time here 10 seconds. So down time can be also up to 10 seconds. Fine?
and sir they are exchanging hello message via switch only, right?
Yeah,
Because there is no physical connection
correct.
between the routers.
Correct. If this is layer 3 switch, maybe you will have ether channel, L3 ether channel.
Yes, then
But
they can
this
have
way,
direct.
it is exchanging via. At which layer HSRP protocol works? Layer 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2.
7.
It is
7.
Application layer.
application layer. If it is an application layer protocol, then which protocol it is using at? Transport
UDP.
layer.
Transport resistance.
CP.
हाँ sir.
No,
UDP, sir. UDP.
it uses
UDP port, sir. 1985.
Port number
985.
1985. The multicast address of HSRP protocol is
224.0.2.
2.
24.0.2. Means it is going to send their hello message on this multicast address. And by default priority is
100.
100.
right? Tracking feature is inbuilt.
MD55.
We will
Yeah,
discuss
MD5.
about the tracking feature. Tracking is in means tracking
Preemption.
means that is fine if the LAN interface will goes down, then router 2 will become active, or router 1 will goes down, then router 2 will become active. But what if ISP will goes down, or let's
Tracking.
say
We
this
will
link
enable
will goes
tracking,
down,
sir.
then still router 1 will be your active router. So
Correct,
with the
sir.
help of tracking, you can track the WAN link also. You can track the line protocol of WAN link. Or even you want to, if you want to track the ISP services, let's say DNS, public DNS. So we can do that also. We can track 8.8.8 also.
Correct, sir.
Okay. So tracking feature is inbuilt here. We don't need to use any external tracking like you might have seen one command on .track and track object to create the track. Here we don't need to create any track. Tracking feature is inbuilt. But tracking feature is inbuilt to track line protocol only, not to track the service on ISP. Right? And whenever your active router will goes down, how router 2 will become standby? Or whenever let's say this WAN link will goes down, how router 2 will become active? Actually router 1 is going to decrease in their priority, and by default decrement of 10 in the priority. So it will decrement in priority by 10. By default priority is 100 on both the routers.
Correct, sir.
So it is going to perform election on any other parameter. But if R1 will goes down, it will decrement in priority by 10. So priority over here will become 90. And once router 2 will receive hello message of router 1 with priority 10, it will get to know now I am the active. Okay. Okay. Then anyone have idea about virtual MAC address?
Yes.
What will be the virtual MAC address?
So from 01 AC come.
Uses virtual MAC what? 000 then 0
सर 0C07
HSRP देख ही ले.
मैंने गूगल पे देखा
ओके देख लिए.
गूगल पे देखा हाँ
बोलिए क्या है?
सर 000.0C07
P
.ACXX 0C
307 dot
yeah
ACXX.
ACXX.
What is this XX?
Last 2 bits.
किसका last?
Group number.
It is group number. This group number. Right? We'll see. Wait. We'll discuss this. The next thing about HSRP protocol can be how many group we can create?
255, sir.
Yes. Maximum group can be created is 255. Anything else?
So in
HSRP?
one,
Huh?
so in one group, how many with any limitation of router or something like that?
No, we can have n number of routers, not limit.
Oh.
The group limitation is there. We can create up to 255 group, 0 to 255 we can say. Anything else? HSRP support any authentication? Yes, it support 2 types of authentication. Plain text authentication and
MD5.
MD5. Yes. 5. And by default, preemption is disabled.
On active router.
By default on all the router. By default, preemption
Is always disabled.
can enable. Manually we have to.
अच्छा VRRP में होता है सर वो, है ना? PREE.
Anything else?
Sir, HSRP can load balance data.
Yeah, you have to get the multiple group. Within the group, it cannot perform load balance. You can create multiple group for the load balancing. By default, it does not support
Load balancing.
states, HSRP states. There are some states like disable तो हटा भी देंगे. Init, then speaking, then listening, then standby, and only active router will forward the traffic. These are the states, and only the router whose state is active will forward user traffic. Anyone have idea about these states?
सर शटडाउन होती है तो डिसेबल स्टेट में होती है.
Okay, very good.
एंड जब इनिट होती है तो सर वो हेलो पैकेट
Initialization.
इनिशिएट करता है.
Okay.
स्पीकिंग मतलब जो राउटर पहले स्पीक कर रहा है बेसिकली हेलो मैसेज. एंड लिसनिंग सर जो राउटर लिसन कर रहा है बेसिकली. नहीं, सेम राउटर के लिए ही है कि इज वेटिंग फॉर हेलो मैसेज फ्रॉम द पीयर.
Whenever interface will come up power on, right? The first state is going to be init state. When your interface will be powered on, when you are going to run no such command, let's say, right? The first state is going to be means initialization. Means port is powered on. Then Next state is state. पहले speaking है listen. First going to be, after that in the listening state actually router will learning state भी तो
Hmm.
learning. So in the learning state what will happen?
MAC address will be done by switch.
Router will learn the virtual IP address. What? Virtual IP address. You are going to configure standby IP 10.1.1.100, right? So router will know here virtual IP address. It will learn the virtual IP address, or you can say the router
We'll check the
will,
virtual IP address.
yeah, check the, and after that we have listening state. In the listening state what will happen? Router is listening for hello message, right? It will wait for hello message. If the another router is there in the group, then they will send the hello message. So it is listening for that hello message, right?
From
And
peer.
once router will receive the hello message, state will move to
Speaking.
speaking. And in a speaking state, what will happen?
So, sir,
Router will send
router
the,
will listen. Sir, router will listen that hello message in multicast group, right?
yes,
Multicast.
yes, multicast address.
Okay.
But till now, router have not shared their hello message. Now in the speaking state, router is going to send their hello message to find other HSRP router. And after that, standby state. After sending hello message, state will move to standby. In standby, what will happen? This is ready to take state, you can say.
So speaking ka ek bar, can you explain again?
Speaking means in the speaking state, router will find the other routers. It will send their hello message to check I have best priority or not.
Okay.
Okay. And in the standby state, router will perform election that I will become active router or not. Or if active router is failed, then state will first move to speaking and then come to standby. So this is the last state when router will decide whether my interface status is going to be standby or active, right? If router interface have the best HSRP parameters, then their interface will become active. Or if it have received the better hello message from their neighbor device, then it will become standby.
So if priority is same, then highest IP address or lowest IP address?
Highest type. R1, R2. R1, R2. So when these routers will boot up, or we will run no set command on the interface. First state is going to be in, then learning. R2 is waiting for R1 to send the virtual IP, and R1 is waiting for R2 to send the virtual IP address. In which state? In the learning state. Then listening state. Both the router now knows the virtual IP address and listen for the hello messages. Then state will move to speak. R1 and R2 will send their messages to elect the active router or standby router, and one router will become active, one router will become is so simple like. And if let's say R1 become active and if R1 will fail, then R2 state will move from standby to active and it will start forwarding the user traffic. For one group, we can have only one active router. That's why I am saying for one group, we cannot achieve load balancing. For one group, we cannot have more than one active router. And only one router can be standby router also. Standby. Standby is what? Backup of active. What I told you, in one group we can have only one active router, and between all the routers only one router will become a standby router. There is election of two types of router. You can see active router and standby router. For these two types of router, election is there. And the router who will not become active or standby will be in which state? Will remain in listening state.
Listening state.
All the router will be in listening state. The listen state.
So which state will come first? Active they will become first or
Active,
standby?
active.
Okay.
Okay, one router will be active, one router will be standby, and all the router will become in the listening state. They will be stay. If active router will goes down, then standby router will become active, and any one router from the listening state will become standby. If standby will goes down, then any one router from the listening state will become standby. But you need to keep in mind that only one router will be in a standby state and only one router will be in active at a time in one group. So if I want two routers should be my active router, then I have to create multiple group. And if I will talk about the election criteria is very easy. Election highest priority. First thing is highest priority. If priority will tie, then highest IP. So in my case, which router will become active router here? By default,
R2.
R2 will become active router. But you know, if I will enable HSRP protocol on router number 1 first, I have enabled HSRP here, and after 10 seconds I am going to enable HSRP on router number 2. So till then you can see in that group active router is already there, right?
Correct.
And preemption is disabled. That means router 2 will not become active, right?
Correct.
Then until and unless router 1 will not goes down, R1 will be your active router, even router 2 have higher IP address. If you want to disable it, you can enable the preemption, right? Then any router with higher IP address or higher priority will become active router any time. Doesn't matter when the router is coming up or going down. Here guys.
Sir, please repeat again this one. The preemption जो आपने अभी बोला.
So what I am saying, if the active router is already there in the group and any new router is coming with higher priority, then that router will not become active. Because if election for the prime minister is already done, and if any powerful person will come later, will that person become PM? No.
No.
Because PM is already elected. Same thing is happening for DR router in the OSPF. Remember, if the DR router is elected then even the new router is coming up with best priority, that router will not become DR until and unless DR router will goes down. Even when DR will go down, BDR will
BDR
become
will take
DR,
up.
and the
Correct.
router who have the good priority will become BDR, not DR.
Correct.
Same thing is happening over here, right? So once HSRP active router is elected, after that, if any router is coming with best priority, that router will not become active. Similarly, if router 1 will goes down, router 2 will become active. And when router 1 will come up again, it will not become active. Let's say I want router 1 should be my active router. Here I have configured priority 110. Here I have configured priority 1110. So this router have higher priority. This router will become active router. And let's say later R1 goes down. So in that case, R2 will become active. And again, when R1 will come up, it will not become active, because active router is already there in the group. So if you want that whenever my router 1 will come up, it should again become active, then you can enable the preemption feature here. Okay. Another thing, let's say I have 3 router in the group, R1, R2, R1 is having IP 192.168. Let's say 1.1. R2 is having IP 192.168.1.2, and R3 is having IP 192.168.1. So first of all, you tell me which router will become active.
Sir, on the router on which we have configured the
First.
HSRP first. Correct.
Very good. But if I am going to enable HSRP on all the router at the same time, if all the router will come up at the
1.3
same
then.
time,
Router 3.
then this router will become active router. Which router will become a standby router?
.2 R2.
Router will become listening state. Router.
R.
If I will talk about the hello message, so what will be the information inside hello message? HSRP protocol will generate hello message at layer
7.
7, application layer. In the HSRP message, you will see some important fields like virtual IP address. Virtual IP is going to be 192.168.1.100 for an example. Then priority will be there. Priority. These two things are required for election, right? So
Correct.
these two information will be there in the HSRP hello message. After that, application layer will hand over it to transport layer. Transport layer is going to add source port number, any random port number. Destination port number will be what?
1985.
2085. Then source IP, destination IP, source IP will be what? 192. Let's say this is the hello message of R1. .1. Destination IP 24.0.0. Source MAC will be the MAC address of R1. Destination MAC will be again what? Cast MAC. So router is going to calculate the multicast MAC address on the corresponding of multicast IP. So this is your HSRP packet.
Sir, I have a question. ये जो MAC address होगा, source MAC address of R1, that would be a virtual MAC address या
नहीं,
जो
router के physical interface का MAC.
जो 1.1 का IP, जो 1.1 IP डला हो उसका
Correct.
MAC address.
Correct.
Okay.
Virtual MAC address will be used to share the ARP reply message. That's it.
Okay.
Not to
Okay.
share the hello message of HSRP.
Okay.
Here router will be used here on MAC address. Here.
Yes, sir.
Can I move? Let me do one thing. Let me just side by side. On the router you want to configure, or on the switch you want to configure HSRP port?
बोथ सर सर स्विच पे बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन होता है और राउटर पे देखना है क्योंकि कंफिग
बता दिए।
सर स्विच में ट्रबल शूटिंग में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत आता है और राउटर में तो सर अभी
कोई
सर
डिफरेंस नहीं
बोलेंगे
है
10
लेकिन दोनों
करोड़
में।
हाँ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन पार्ट में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है दैट आई हैव सीन वी कैन डू इट ऑन स्विच में भी हाँ क्योंकि कमांड तो 3 ही है सर
दोनों पे देखते हैं वन बाय वन। पहले राउटर पे देखें।
हाँ सर
बस सॉरी एनजी में
सर अगर स्विच में करना हो तो एसबीआई क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा ना?
क्या है
हाँ
ईयर पे तो आपका एसबीआई है, कल ही हम देखे थे।
करेक्ट हाँ सर है सर मेरा एक कटपटा सा क्वेश्चन है अगर हम लोग स्विच पे भी चला दें और राउटर पे भी चला दें तो कॉल किसके बेसिस पे होगा
सब ग्रुप में एक राउटर है एक स्विच है ऐसा,
हाँ हाँ हाँ
तो ऐसे ही काम करेगा। एचएसआरपी को कोई मतलब नहीं है भाई ये स्विच है या राउटर है, वो तो इंटरफेस पे चला, L3 इंटरफेस पे चलता है। ये L3 इंटरफेस पे चलता है। ये आपका वर्चुअल इंटरफेस भी हो सकता है और फिजिकल इंटरफेस भी हो सकता
इथर चैनल L3 इथर चैनल यस
है। We'll come here later. First let's configure this tab.
यस सर
You can see the bandwidth on WAN link. Here we have 8 Mbps, here we have 4 Mbps, here we have
2 Mbps
2 Mbps, right? That means router 1 should be my active router until and unless this WAN link or R1 is,
goes down
until it is up, router 1 should be my active router. If this WAN link or router 1 is not available, because here we have single ISP, so there is no benefit of tracking ISP, right? If ISP will goes down, then it will goes from all the sides. Generally in the real time you will have different ISPs. Sometimes you can have same ISP, 2 ISP, sometimes I can have 3 ISP as well here. Let me check the routers are configured. By the way, this is GLBP scenarios. F virtual IP address, and you can see the physical IP address on the R1.
अभी हम कौन सा कर रहे हैं जीएनएस वाला राउटर वाला
Router wala.
ओके
So IP interface brief. IP address is already configured. Here you can see on LAN interface it is 192.160.10.1, and on the WAN link is 1.1.1.1. Then so run interface F0/0. NAT protocol is enabled, but HSRP is not running. You can see here, right? NAT is running. I think I can ping to 8.8.8. Ping 8.8.8.8 from the source interface also, source F0/0. You can see ping is working. That means NAT is already configured and is working fine. Internet is reachable from R1. Let me access R2 also. This R3. Ping 8.8.8.8. Source F0/0. Ping is working. Ping 8.8.8.8 and source F0/0 ping is working, right? बिकॉज हमने डिफॉल्ट डॉट कॉन्फ़िगर करके रख दिया होगा पहले. तो IP dot root 0.0.0. So default route is there towards ISP and NAT is configure, right? So run section
Section
IP.
net.
So here is my NAT configuration. You can so
ACL
access
list.
करना है बाद में तो आप इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो. कमांड रिक्वायर. But so standby configuration is not there. Let me enable HSRP protocol because these user need gateway IP address to access internet, right? This user can also access internet, but gateway is required. If I am going to say IP 192.168.10. Let's say 5 and /24. So like this, it cannot access to internet. Ping 8.8.8.8. Ping will not work because gateway not found. So I am going to configure gateway. Let's say 192.168.1.10.1. Now it can access internet via router number 1, right?
Correct.
You can see is able to access internet via router number 1. If router 1 will goes down, manually I have to change the gateway 10.2. And from 10.2 also now it can access the internet, you can see. Right? Similarly, if router 2 will goes down, I have to change gateway to 10.3. And from 10.3 via router number 3 also it can access internet. But here every time manually I am changing the gateway IP address. So better to configure gateway virtual gateway IP address which is 10.100. And now it cannot access internet because now this gateway is not reachable. If I will ping 8.8.8, you can see ping is not working. And if you will check ARP table, VRRP, then you can see MAC address of gateway is not there. Right? What it's saying, this host not reachable, is not able to find the MAC address of this gateway is not reachable. Right? So let's create this virtual gateway. Command is going to be very simple. Interface F0/0 and standby, then group number, let's say 10, and after that IP address. IP address is 192.168.10.100. Okay, and do show history. Let me copy the command and let me paste this command on all other I2 R. Okay, now I have enabled the HSRP protocol on all the routers. So standby is going to give me the detailed information of HSRP protocol, like standby is enabled on F0/0 and group number is 10. Which group? 10. State of this interface is listening. Virtual IP address is 192.168.1.100. Active virtual MAC address is unknown for now. And local virtual MAC address is this one. And what I told you, the last XX was what? The group number. And here you can see the group number is 10, right? And the hexadecimal value of 10 decimal is 08. Right? So this is my virtual MAC address. Here I had.
थ्योरी में बताया आपने जहाँ पॉइंट्स लिखे हुए हैं.
So this access is clear, right? Everyone will have same virtual MAC address, right? Question is who will send the MAC address in the ARP response? Okay, so the local MAC address is here, but the active virtual MAC address is unknown for now. Hello time is 3 seconds, hold on time is 10 seconds. Preemption is disable and active router is unknown. Standby router is also unknown. Priority is 100 and this is the name of your group. HSRP F0/0 group number 10. Now if I am going to run this command, same command, So now you can see the active virtual MAC address is also there. Active router information is also there. Now who is active router? 10.3 router number 3 is my active router.
Highest IP address के
Yes,
basis पे हो
highest
गया, sir.
IP address. And priority on the active router is 100. And this active router is going to expire in next 10 seconds. But after 3 seconds, it will receive another hello message. So after every 7 seconds, timer is going to be reset. Which router is a standby router? Which router will become active if active will goes down?
10.2.
10.2.
Route.
That means a state of R1 is going to be what? Listening. Right? Another command is show standby brief. Here you can see F0/0 interface group number 10 priority state is listen. Here also state is showing, right? State is listen, and here also state is listen. Active router, standby router, and virtual IP address. Clear, guys? On router number 2 also you can verify same thing. So standby. Here what it's saying, standby router is
Local.
local, means I am the standby router. Active router is 10.3. Name of group, preemption is disabled. Hello message, hold on time. Next hello due message. Local, virtual MAC address, and the active router virtual MAC address. Both are same only. Virtual IP address and state. On router number 3, so by same informations, right? But state is over here. Another command is show standby brief. On all the router you can run this command, show standby brief. Show standby brief and show standby brief. If I will down the switch, then all the router will become active.
Active.
All the router will become active. Now I want router 1 should be my active router. So let me try to configure higher priority here. Interface F0/0 say standby and priority. If I am going to configure priority 110 over here, will it work? It will configure priority 110 for which group number?
10.
Not 10.
अच्छा मेंशन करना पड़ेगा अपने को ग्रुप नंबर
Yes.
सब.
If you will not mention that, then it will say configure it for group number 0. Right? So
Okay,
if you are
wait a
thinking here, like I will, like this, if I will configure the priority, you can see the output. So standby
Brief.
priority is still what? 100. Now you are in the, I have configured priority 110. Why it's showing 100 only? Okay. So you have not configured the priority correctly. Here also you can verify it. Right? So let me run node to this command, interface F0/0 and node. Anything, priority, preemption, right? Any authentication, any command you are going to run on the interface for standby should be configured on the group number.
Group number.
Standby group number 10 and priority 110. Right? So standby. Now priority is what?
1110.
110. But is R1 my active router now?
No. अभी होएगा सर एक.
होगा? नहीं होगा. स्टैंड बाय के लिए प्रीएम्पशन क्या होती है? Enabled. For the standby, preemption is disabled. Means router 1 will become what? Standby. It will not become active router. Keep in mind that
Standby के लिए active होती है, right? Preemption.
Preemption is enabled for standby, but preemption is disabled for active router.
Correct.
Right? So any router with higher priority will become a standby router, but not become active router. Active router is still R3. Clear? But
So that time we have to clear the HSRP processor. Any command is there?
why you need to clear the HSR?
प्रायोरिटी
No,
चेंज करके कर लो सर.
it's supposed no, it's
प्रियम्पशन
supposed
इनेबल करना पड़ेगा.
मैंने
क्लियर
प्रियम्पशन, हाँ
प्रिम्पशन या
प्रियम्पशन इनेबल करना पड़ेगा.
प्रिम्पशन इनेबल करना पड़ेगा. देन इट विल बी ऑटो स्विच
क्लियर
ओवर.
करने से कुछ नहीं होगा. आप लाख बार भी क्लियर कर दो.
no, sir. I have one doubt. It's suppose as you said, we have three routers and we configured R1, right? So R1 selected himself as a it is a active router, but although R3 is its highest IP address. So that time, if I want to make as R1 is active one, so how will do that?
Then configure higher priority here. I told you that if you will enable HSRP on router number 1 and wait for 10 seconds, once router 1 will become active, and after that if you are going to enable HSRP on router 2, router 3, then your active router will not change. Router 1 will be keep active. Right? So once a router will become active router, no one is going to replace their role if the preemption is disabled. Even the other router have active like higher priority, or you have configured the higher priority later. Not work. Right?
सो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि बाय डिफॉल्ट बिकॉज R2 इज आवर स्टैंड बाय राउटर, तो इस पे
R1 is standby router.
हाँ अभी हुआ है ना.
हाँ.
बट उससे पहले का क्वेश्चन है कि R2 अपना स्टैंड बाय था, राइट? तो जैसे ही हमने वी हैव कॉन्फ़िगर्ड प्रायोरिटी ऑन R1, तो वो सिलेक्शन स्टैंड बाय और लिसनिंग के बीच में ही होगा, एक्टिव को कोई छेड़ा-छोड़ी नहीं होगी, करेक्ट?
नहीं.
ठीक.
अगर प्रियम डिसेबल है तो एक्टिव का
तो
कुछ नहीं हो.
तो करेक्ट बिल्कुल.
Okay, fine. With the help of priority here, I have configured R1 should be my active router. Now R2 should be always standby. So here I will configure priority. Let's say 105. Interface F0/0 standby. Group number 10 and priority 105. Here I am configuring. Means this router should be my standby router. And R3 have the default priority 100. So R3 should be my listening router, right? It should be in listening state, correct? But
Correct.
it is not working. Router 1 is a standby router. Router 3 is the active router. It is not working, right? Let me enable the preemption now. Interface F0/0 standby and preempt. To
सर
so
ग्रुप नंबर नहीं डाला सर हमने इसमें.
नहीं डाला तो इसको रिमूव करिए. And standby group number 10 and preempt. And now you can see after enabling the preemption, this router is active. So standby brief. Now which router is active? This router is active. State of R1 is active. Standby router is unknown. Which router will become a standby? Router 2. Now election will not happen on the basis of IP address because all have different priority. All have unique priority. So router 2 is going to become a standby router. Now you can see. Right? But still if your R1 will goes down, which router will become active now? Router 2. Now it's fine. And
Correct.
better to enable preemption on router number 2 also and on router number 3 also. Standby 10 preempt. Interface F0/0 standby 10. So standby brief. This router is my active router. Local router is the active and standby is router 2 10.2. Virtual IP address is this one. Okay. Go to router 2 and say so standby state is standby. Active
Standby.
router is 10.1. Standby router is the local and virtual IP address. Router 3. So stand by brief. State is listening. Active router is 10.1. Standby router is 10. Now
2.
everything is working fine. If router 2 will goes down, for now, what I am going to do, go to config t interface f0/0. And before that, let me check the user is now able to access internet or ping 8.8.8. You can see ping is working, means user is able to access internet. And if I will check ARP table, you can see the MAC address of this virtual IP address. Who is generating ARP reply? R1 10.1. R1 is generating the reply message, not R2, not R3, active router. Now, if I will down this interface, and before that, I'm going to send ICMP, ICMP packet and say shutdown. Ping is not working, and again ping started working. And on router number 1, you can see this router goes down and router 2 become active. Now my traffic is going via R2.
R2.
Right? And as preemption is enabled, again when R1 will come up, no shutdown, then R1 will become active. But you can see user is able to access internet continuously.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can see R1, soon you will get the log message. Here is the log message. R1 is active. You can change this timer as well. Hello timer, hold on timer, 3 seconds and 10 seconds, which is the default one. You can manipulate. Okay. If R1 goes down, R2 will become active. If R1 will again come up, then again R1 will become active and R2 will become a standby. And if R1, see now R1 is down, R2 should be your active router. This router is active router, and if R2 will also goes down, interface F0/0 shutdown, then only R3 will become active. Clear?
तो सर एक बार स्विच को भी डाउन करके दिखा दीजिए.
तो पहले यहाँ पे नो शट
हाँ जी.
एंड नो शट को डाउन करने का जीएनएस में रहता है ऑप्शन.
इसको पावर ऑफ कर दीजिए बस आप.
पावर ऑफ कर.
ओके 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 सर नहीं इंटरफेस शट नहीं मार. हाँ इंटरफेस सर स्विच से हम शट मार सकते हैं क्या एक्सेस लेके स्विच के.
से हम कम्युनिकेशन ब्लॉक कर सकते हैं.
हाँ वो सर एसी लिंक बना हुआ ना 10 अपना, उसी में डिनाई कर दीजिए 1985 को. सर बस उसको हमें कॉल करना है सर, एक्सेस ग्रुप इन करके F000 पे तीनों पे बस.
HSRP का पैकेट अगर ड्रॉप करना है तो पहले तो एक्सटेंडेड ACL बनाना पड़ेगा. वो आप देख सकते हो, अभी हम EVNG में दिखा दूंगा करके. एक्टिव router इज का इंटरफेस. OT डाउन हो जा रहा है ना, तो इनिट चला जा रहा है. Now what is the issue now? Still there is issue. Ping is working fine. So standby brief. R1 should be my active router and R1 is active. R2 should be my standby router and R2 is a standby. And R3 should be in listening state. And you can see R3 is in listening. What if now traffic is going via R1 only? What if the WAN link will goes down? Interface serial 2/0 shutdown. A problem. Now user is not able to access internet. Now in this case it will not perform failover. Yes or no? Because HSRP hello message is still coming, exchanging.
करेक्ट सर. यूजर को नहीं पता लग रहा.
Yes.
Sir, when the serial link will go down?
Yes, when the WAN link will goes down, still router 1 is your active router. So standby brief. Still R1 is active router. but there is no WAN connectivity from R1 to internet. So that's why user is not able to access internet. Right? Now we want that in this case also, it should perform failover for the gateway, right? It should change the active router. HSRP should change the active router. Then we have to use the tracking feature. We have to tell to router number 1 then that when your WAN link will goes down, then do one thing, decrement in priority by 10. So if WAN link will goes down, then it will decrement in priority by 10. What priority will become over here? 100. And priority on router number 2 is 105. So which router will become active? Router 2.
R2 will become active.
R2 will become then active router. Okay. So in this case, ping is not working. Let me take you to router 1. 150. Again, I am going to up the interface first. Interface serial 2/0 no set. Again, ping will start working. Now you can see working. Go to router number 1. Go to your LAN interface. Interface app 0/0. Say standby. Group number 10, and then track. And after the track, so many options are there, and there is one option to track the interface, fast Ethernet interface or serial interface. Track.
सर आप ये ग्रुप नंबर कुछ और भी ले सकते थे ना, क्योंकि हम ये तो
उस
ट्रैक
ग्रुप के
कॉन्फ़िगर
लिए
कर रहे
ट्रैक
हैं।
करेगा ना, हम चाहते हैं कि 10 ग्रुप के लिए प्रायोरिटी डिक्रीमेंट करे ना।
ओके ओके।
ट्रैक इंटरफेस +0, and then how much priority you want to decrement. Let's say 9. If I will decrement 9, then what priority will become here? 101. Right? If I will say 10, then 100.
100 हो जाएगी।
Right? तो 10 भी चलेगा, 9 भी चलेगा। अगर 10 करूंगा तो राउटर 1 एंड राउटर 3 पे प्रायोरिटी सेम रहेगा।
सर हम ये F0/0 के अंदर घुस के कर रहे हैं ना ये?
हाँ, सारा स्टैंड बाय का कमांड इंटरफेस पे ही चलेगा।
ओके।
So I am decrementing in priority by 11, so that priority will become here 99. Whenever this WAN link will goes down, router 1 will have lowest priority. If I will configure 10, then still issue is there. Between router 1 and router 3, it will perform election on the basis of IP address because priority will become same. And if router 1 will become active, then again there is issue. So router, if the WAN link is not up, then router 1 should not be active, right? So make sure your priority on router 1 should be lowest. So that's why here I have configured 11, or I can say 20. And after
मतलब
that,
डाउन होने के बाद it should be lowest.
yes, ये router active router ना बने. Let
हम
me hit
100 के
enter.
आसपास से रिलेट कर सकते हैं।
So I am tracking serial 2/0. Okay, and you can see ping is still working. And now I am going to down serial 2/0. Exit interface, and you can verify this also. So standby. In the standby, it's showing. You can see somewhere. Priority is 100 and configure priority over here is priority is 110 and configure priority is also 110. If the WAN link will goes down, then priority will become over here what? 80, 90. Right? So let me show you. Go to serial WAN link, serial 2/0, and say shut down. See, ping one packet is dropped, but again ping has started working, and once their serial 2/0 line protocol goes down, it have decremented in priority. So stand by. Now here you can see priority is 90 and configure priority is 110. They have decremented in priority by 10. State down, decrement in priority by 10. Tracking interface serial 2/0.
सर 20 क्यों आ रहा है? 20 आ रहा है ना सर?
हाँ तो
Decrement
20
by
ही तो
20.
डिक्रीमेंट किया हूँ.
हाँ तभी 90 हुआ। ओके।
तो रन इंटरफेस F0/0. and show standby brief. Now you can see your this router is in list. Yes, this router should be in listening state if they are WAN linkage. Again, when WAN link will come up, it will add in priority by 20 interface serial 2/0 no shutdown. It will add in priority by 20 so standby brief. Again here you can see priority is 110 and this router is active. Similarly, you can configure tracking on all the routers R1, R2, R3. All the routers should use tracking for their WAN link.
तो सर एक चीज बताइए, अगर हम तीनों पे ही करते हैं, इस पे हमने 90 मतलब डिक्रीमेंट बाय 20 कर दिया, करेक्ट? राउटर 2 पे क्या करते हैं अगर करना होता तो अपने को, मतलब तीनों पे पैरेलली चलानी है और तीनों आपस में फेलोर
10
होते रहे अगर
डिक्रीमेंट कर देते राउटर 2 पे, तो अगर
उसमें
राउटर 2
105 का
एक्टिव
तो
राउटर
95 हो गया।
अगर राउटर 2 एक्टिव राउटर है और उसका WAN link, if the WAN link of R2 goes down, so priority will become 100,
95 वो
95,
105 है
sorry,
शायद,
95, and router
करेक्ट।
3 have priority 100, so router 3 will become active router.
एंड 3 पे फिर हम कॉन्फ़िगर करेंगे उस केस में?
तो 3 पे करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
हाँ, मैं बस वही पूछ रहा था, 3 पे इट इज नॉट नीडेड, करेक्ट?
Yes.
सर बट ट्रैक नहीं रहता है तो फिर भी वो फेलोर होगा होगा क्या मतलब?
फिर फेल ओवर सिर्फ LAN इंटरफेस जब डाउन जाएगा ना तब फेल ओवर होगा, तब WAN लिंक के केस में नहीं.
हाँ, तो वैन लिंक के केस में हमें फिर से वो ट्रैक कॉन्फ़िगर करना ही पड़ेगा ना?
तो ट्रैक 3 पे भी अपने को करना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज सर वो स्विच ओवर नहीं होगा, करेक्ट? नहीं हो
करिए
जाएगा,
WAN
स्विच ओवर
लिंक के
हो ही
लिए.
जाएगा। हाँ, सपोज करिए कि अगर 3 एक्टिव बन गया, करेक्ट, विद द प्रायोरिटी 100
ओके,
एंड उसी बीच में अपना वो आ जाता है, R1 अप आ जाता है, तो देन R1 विल टेक ओवर,
एक्टिव है.
करेक्ट?
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल. तो
हाँ,
इस राउटर 3 पे जरूरत नहीं है ना.
हाँ, इट इज
जब
नॉट
एक ही राउटर है तो फिर वो जरूरत नहीं है. अगर दोनों राउटर R1 R2 डाउन है तो WAN लिंक R3 पे जरूरत ही नहीं है. था आपका HSR is HSRP here. Now if R1 is connected to different ISP, R2 is connected to different ISP, here we have different ISP, ISP1, here I have different ISP, ISP2, and here I have different ISP, ISP3. In that case, what if the service on ISP will goes down? In that case, will fail over work? Again, answer is no,
नो,
because router is tracking this link only, right? If
करेक्ट।
any service will goes down or ISP will goes down, let's say ISP router is up, but their services are down. In that case, again failover will not work, right?
देन
So for that case, what you can do, you can create one. You can use external tracking feature.
IPSLA,
Yes. Then you can use IP. With the help of IPSLA, you can track the ISP service, any service, public DNS you can trace, and you can use that with your RP port.
सर इसके बाद HSRP में क्या कॉन्फ़िग होगी उस केस में?
HSRP
अगर
में
मैंने
तो यही कमांड रहेगा, सिर्फ ट्रैक इंटरफेस F0/0 स्टैंड बाय ग्रुप नंबर 10 ट्रैक एंड देन ट्रैक नंबर.
ओके, दैट्स इट, ठीक है जी,
ट्रैक नंबर
गॉट इट।
and
Then
we'll
how
call
IP SLA, sir?
IPSLA in track number 10. Like I can create here one IPSLA group or object number
10 ही
10
ले लो सर,
10, and then we can
ऐसा
say here what
पिंग नहीं, ICMP
ICMP echo
8.8
host 8.8.8,
सोर्स लेना पड़ेगा,
then source interface I'm going to say serial 2/0,
दैट्स इट।
then
देन
threshold
IPSLA को
ये
ट्रैक के
वगैरह
अंदर,
सब.
हाँ सर, हाँ ये
टाइम और
करना
थ्रेशोल्ड वगैरह अगर
पड़ेगा।
कॉन्फ़िगर करना है
फ्रीक्वेंसी
तो आप
फ्रीक्वेंसी यू कैन से फ्रीक्वेंसी 10।
कर सकते हैं, नहीं तो ऐसे भी
रियल
छोड़ सकते
सिनेरियो में थ्रेशोल्ड यूज करते हैं, मतलब उतना बैंडविड्थ डाउन गया तो फिर वो डाउन चला जाता, मतलब
वो मिली
पैकेट ड्रॉप
सेकंड्स में, जैसे
केसिंग।
फ्रीक्वेंसी है वो मिली सेकंड्स में होती है, आई थिंक, करेक्ट सर?
बिल्कुल। IPSLA schedule number was 10,
नाउ नाउ
start time now and live forever. For lifetime I am going to track 8.8.8 from here. Now if you will debug IP ICMP, then I am expecting it is generating ICMP request, but it is not generating.
सर अभी ट्रैक हमने कॉल नहीं करा कहीं, वो ट्रैक नहीं कॉन्फ़िगर है, और SLA कॉल नहीं करा अभी हमने कहीं। एक ट्रैक बना के वहां पे कर दीजिए।
Track
10
number 10 IP SLA number 10. Okay,
अब एक बार पिंग जा रहा है ना मशीन से वैसे इंटरनेट का? अब आया सर, देखिए।
ये आ रहा है ना?
हाँ
Right. So see, it is not sending ICMP frequently. You can configure the frequency and those whole thing. You can make it
करेक्ट सर, ये 10
frequently.
10 मिली
And now
सेकंड्स।
I will use this track in HSRP interface F0/0 standby number 10 track number 10. That's it. Right. Now it is tracking, your HSRP is tracking 8.8.8. If 8.8.8 is not reachable from router number 1, then
दिस
it will
राउटर,
decrement in priority by 20.
करेक्ट।
Getting my point?
सर ISP पे एक बार डाउन भी कर दीजिए।
IP 10.
नहीं सर, हमने इसमें फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं डाली ना, तो 10 करके फिर एंटर करिए, फिर नेक्स्ट चलते हैं। ऑलरेडी पंगा यही है सर इसका कि एक बार शुरू में ही करना पड़ता है। सर वो हमने फ्रीक्वेंसी करनी चाहिए थी एक्चुअली, वहां पे हो जाता। एक बार नो आईपी से ले 10 कर दीजिए, फिर दोबारा कन्फिगर कर लेते हैं।
IPSLA 10.
10
10
आईसीएमपी को
MP को
डेस्टिनेशन
8.8.8.
सोर्स। हाँ सर, वो डाउन हो गया क्योंकि हमने
अच्छा,
हटा दिया ना।
ट्रैकिंग के
हम्म,
चल दो फ्रीक्वेंसी
सेकंड्स में है, ठीक है।
5000.
लाइफ जिसमें लाइफ टाइम जो देते हैं। सर SLA 10 होगा पहले। 10 ही करा था ना हमने।
10 पर now
अब देखिए आईसीएमपी भेज रहा है।
एक भेजा. Now track is up. Again it will add in priority by 20 and this order is now active. So standby. Okay, this is your active router. Now I am going to down loop back 8.8.8. Let me access ISP router and show IP base brief. A.A.8 on loopback 1, go to loopback 1 interface and this shutdown. Then on router number 1. Soon your track will goes down. So track. It is still showing up. Reachability is up, but wait for some time. It will goes down. It will take some time in the simulation. ICMP का reply नहीं आएगा, जाएगा track. Once track will goes down, it will decrement in priority by here we should manage the timeout and frequency, both the things. The SLA.
करेक्ट सर. सर टाइम आउट का मतलब क्या होता है कि कितनी देर बाद?
हाँ, कितने देर के बाद जो है सो डाउन जाएगा ट्रैक आपका.
ओके, अगर डेस्टिनेशन अनरीचेबल होता है तो?
तब तक नहीं जाए.
आ गया, आ गया, आ गया, आ गया, हो गया सर. स्टेट चेंज हो गया सर. अलार्म तो आया है एक राउटर पे, आप देखेंगे तो स्टेट चेंज्ड. ओके ओके.
सर
ये तीसरी बार कॉन्फ़िगर करवा के मारेगा ये इसलिए. सर इसमें आरटीटी क्या होता है? ये रिटर्न टाइम.
RTT टाइमर
तो ये एक्सपायर या रिफ्रेश कितनी देर बाद होता है?
शायद
तो उसके बाद ही डाउन करेगा बेसिकली.
तो रहे.
एक कमांड होता है शो आईपीएसएलए कॉन्फ़िगरेशन करके होता है सर. 10 कॉन्फ़िगरेशन.
सर
समरी करके देखना एक बार.
some
सर एक बार देखना हमने शट डाउन किया है कि नहीं इंटरफेस आईएसपी पे.
कोड तो डाउन है तभी तो यूजर तो रन सेक्शन बैक
से 2 बार क्यों आ रही है? ट्रैक 10।
HSRP का है कौन? एक बार हमने पहले इंटरफेस को ट्रैक किया था, वो है क्या? ट्रैक तो डाउन जाए। Let me create IPSLA again. No IPSLA 10, IPSLA 10, ICMP 8.8.8.8, source interface serial 2/0, timeout.
अच्छा 300 सेकंड ही दे दीजिए।
Alt frequency timeout.
जब फ्रीक्वेंसी लिया नहीं सर उसने।
अब तो ठीक है।
जी जी।
ये थोड़ा बहुत IPSLA schedule 10 live
फॉरएवर
for start
नाउ।
now.
ये क्या गया सर? हमने गलत इंटरफेस कर दिया सर। आई थिंक शट डाउन। ये 1.1 के लिए जनरेट कर रहा है।
Chatting कर रहा है ना, ट्रैक तो जरूर कर। मिनट, तो ट्रैक, now your track is
डाउन।
down, so stand by brief. This order is in listening state. Go to ISP, no shut आने लगा, तो track will come up soon. अभी R2 से जा रहा है ट्रैफिक यूज। एक्टिव ऑर्डर इज R, so stand by. R2 is
ट्रैक आ गया होगा। अभी भी डाउन। लेकिन सर मैसेज तो आ रहा है कि डॉट इको
stable है।
इको रिसीव्ड है। हाँ इको रिसीव्ड।
all track 10, okay, 2 seconds. So run IPSLA. Okay, no worry, it's not working, but you will configure like this. Okay, now my track should come up,
Up.
and when track will come up, again it will increment in priority, and it will start forwarding traffic. This order will become active, and user traffic will start going via R1. No track 10 and do so run interface F0/ command interface F and track 10. Okay, 10. Say down 0 second, up go track. Wait. Tracking की बराबर काम. Tracking is not working. Try to get track 20. So you can configure it and then you can check it's not working here, right? But this is the configuration. It should work on the router. This is how you can track the service on ISP. Please show us the configuration on the ISP. On the ISP there is no any configuration, only IP. Only IP addresses are configured on the ISP, nothing else. So IP interface brief. This is the configuration on ISP. Okay. अब तो टाइम ही नहीं रहा स्विच पे कॉन्फ़िगर करके देख, right? So here you can try to configure HSRP protocol. Otherwise, if you will tell me, then tomorrow I will show you how you can configure HSRP here between D switch 1 and D switch. बहुत टाइम लग गया आज.
Sir, if we have different ISP in that case.
In that case, only you need to track the ISP, na? If we have single ISP, then what is the benefit of tracking ISP?
Okay.